Hey everybody, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today I want to talk about the last performance that you heard. I am very shocked by the results. It appears that you all agree that the system behind me is indeed the best performance you have ever heard come out from my lab. Now granted, I understand this is all done through YouTube. But we try to do the best we can. So right now, what I'm going to talk about is the equipment, the associated equipment that you heard. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for your time, for your support, for being there for me. I am very happy to hear you guys agree with what I also believe in, which is that this system behind me is by far the best system I have ever heard inside my room. So before I get started, do not forget to subscribe. Okay, so the speakers are, by now, you guys should know, the Wilson Audio Chronosonic XVX, current flagship of Wilson Audio speakers, okay? MSRP of $349,000 as of today. We move on to my Boulder 3050 monos. Okay, these are still current amplifiers. MSRP on these is $298,000 as of today. Matching line stage, Boulder 3010, which in my opinion is the best line stage that I have ever had in my lab. Current MSRP, $170,000. We also have, of course, my source, the MSB Select 2. Current MSRP, $120,000. This DAC does not have the recently released digital director, which adds another $30,000 to the MSRP of my DAC. For power, I am using my Strom Tank 5000, current MSRP of $52,500. The cables that I utilize are none other than my cables, my cable line, Authentic Audio Image from Slovakia. This is the brand that I am using that you guys heard. Okay, so there isn't any sort of confusion as to what I used on my last video. Every single cable you heard was from my cable line. My digital consists of the Nordos QNet network switch, MSRP $3,200, and the power supply, which is another $2,700, I believe, $2,800. And then, of course, the upgraded DC cable, which adds another $300. As far as the music server, I am using Taiko's own Extreme music server. This currently MSRPs for $34,000. The stand that you see right under it is my dearly loved Artisania Audio Master Keo stand, which, yes, it makes a huge difference underneath this server. This last video, you guys didn't get to hear my turntable, so I am not going to add the value of my turntable. This is about what you heard, which was purely digital recordings. So why is it that I'm saying this is the best system I have ever had in my room? Some of you guys may say, well, it's because it's about the dollars with Jay. So if it's not expensive, it doesn't work with him. It's not good enough. So given the fact that he has the most expensive system in the history of his channel, that is probably the reason why Jay thinks this is his best system. Well, you're incorrect. First and foremost, what you heard yesterday was my speakers on casters. Yes, don't criticize it. I'm working on having someone in here pretty soon to help me dial in my speakers. Also, the speakers are not properly time aligned okay? They're not perfect. I don't feel I've done an amazing job yet. However, you guys are still blown away by them the way they are. So imagine when I fine tune them, when I add the right proper time alignment or group delays, and I put them on the Wilson audio footers that they come with, things are only going to get better. My system through these speakers has the best resolution I've ever heard, the best impact I've ever had from any loudspeaker in my room. It also has a huge, tall soundstage, wide soundstage. The realism of the system is next level. And the way it actually invites me to listen to music, okay, the way it really entices me, it romances me better than ever. So when I sit down and listen to my system, I feel connected right now. I feel in tune. I actually want to pull out my music, my records, and have fun with it. Through my YouTube shorts, I tend to give you guys clips of music that I listen to. So now the system is actually reeling me in to hear everything right through it. I don't only play audiophile gray recordings. If you're thinking that, you're wrong. I play everything through my system. I bought it to play whatever I feel like playing through it. And so the emotion, the engagement factor, the massive soundstage, the separation, the dense imaging are all factors that I don't think I've had all at once in my previous setups. I may have had a couple of those traits, but not everything I just itemized for you guys. See, with this system, I'm able to dissect the presentation if I feel like it, or I'm able to not dissect the presentation and actually just play music through it and enjoy it for what it is. It communicates to me changes that in previous systems, I really couldn't make out sometimes what changed. With this system, I can hear everything. Every change I make, it's just highlighted. And it's not highlighted with a fine tip marker. It's highlighted with a thick tip marker. With this system, things are just easier to sort out. You have an easier time understanding what's good and what's bad about what you're playing through it. You no longer blame the system for anything. At this point, I'm blaming my music selection. Okay? At this point, I have accepted in my head, I have in front of me my best system ever. And whatever I'm hearing through it is exactly what I'm playing through it. End of story. I don't have to be questioning my system anymore. I pretty much have confidence in my body of work. I now trust what the system is telling me more than ever before. And this is why I'm able to shake hands with it. This is why I'm able to fear, if I'm being honest, the possibility of having to change something and let go of it and start again. I am not sure I can quite replicate what I have done here. I gotta be real. I am not sure I can quite replicate what I have built here. And that's a scary feeling for me. I feel I'm at a point in which all I can do is go downhill. But that's the case for me. That's my lab. That's what my journey is about. I will not hang on to everything you see behind me. Everything will go. Recently, I brought a Takeo Extreme music server. I had already owned this unit in the past and moved away from it last year. I eventually ended up buying the Orender N30, which I had for the last 6 months, I would say. Bought this unit again because I know there is a new software that is being utilized with it. And I wanted to take another crack at it. Plus my system, again, as I mentioned earlier, is at its all-time best. So I wanted to bring this machine in and put it through the motions again. See what I feel has changed since I last owned it. And the results are essentially what you heard. It elevated every single facet, every single area of my system. It enhanced the bass output. I heard a lot more fullness, more impact. It has now a larger soundstage, made my speakers basically disappear even more. It makes instruments feel more real, more dense, more organic. You almost feel like reaching out and touching the instruments in the air. Those are things that I don't think were highlighted as good with my R-Render N30. Now granted, this unit is much more expensive than the R-Render N30, which served me quite well. And I have nothing bad to say about the R-Render N30. I gotta be honest, nothing bad to say. But the Takeo Extreme in my system has completely elevated my opinion of the need for a quality music server. If you are one of those who do not believe in music servers, you just have no idea, unfortunately, and don't understand what you're missing out on. A music server has so many important qualities, and it helps your DAC so much. It improves the resolution. It makes the digital experience much more real. Now, that being said, I am going to read out to you some interesting things about the Takeo Extreme Music Server. The Extreme employs 2 high-power Intel Xeon CPUs for 20 physical, 40 hyper-threaded CPU cores. The Extreme has also a massive power supply that you often find in power amplifiers that put out approximately 400 watts per channel. Now, if you're wondering, why do you need a power supply so beefy into a device that doesn't really require a lot of power? The reason is, so actually feeding high power into these digital devices is the same as when you put a much more powerful amplifier behind your system. There's going to be more impact. Things are going to be more dense, more real. And that's certainly what I'm starting to feel through this Takeo Extreme Music Server. With that said, because of everything I just heard, the transformation that my system has gone through ever since I inserted a Takeo Extreme Music Server, I've decided to partner with them, and now I represent Takeo. Yes, it is a special piece that I can't see myself abandoning anytime soon. I cannot see myself with another music server. This does not mean by any way, shape, or form that R-Render or any other music server I've owned is no good. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm simply saying in my system, through my ultra hi-fi system, the Takeo Extreme has completely changed the way I listen to music, and I dare to say the way I interact with my system. Anyway, guys, I am headed to Germany next week to attend the Munich show. My first time in Germany. As a matter of fact, it's my first time in Europe. I hope to meet many of you over there, so if you see me walking around the halls, feel free to come up to me and say hi. Until next time, peace.